Hi dear students, welcome back to my session. In our previous session, we had a discussion about some transformation techniques like star and delta by using those connections. We converted in that class delta to star connection and we solved one the derivation which is related to delta to star derivation. On the derivation, we solved the how we are going to be convert delta equivalent circuit into the star by doing some steps. Finally, we wrote some equation how R1, R2, R3, R1, R2, R3 is when the single suffix terms are related to the star, double suffix terms are related to the delta. As you know, already we discussed those terms in our previous session. In this session, we are going to be discuss further classification means further transformation that is called delta to star transformation. The transformation is called delta to star transformation. From here, sorry, star to delta transformation. From here, we are going to be convert star equivalent circuit to delta equivalent circuit. So as you know, how the star connection is there. Here, one of the circuit. This is the introduction circuit. You should not depend upon the circuit. We will draw on the number basis 1, 2, 3. This is just model circuit I drawn here. So we are going to be convert star to delta conversion. So before we are going to be discuss star to delta. Let me see. In our last class, I forgot to say about the how to remember that equation, and I promised you guys to remember how to remember that equation without by hearting the in the formula mode. Let me go to that slide. Let me see how to remember that. In this slide, this one, right? Right, we have three equations in delta to star transformation. Let me read that equation. R1 R2 means what we did. Let me add the pointer. Just we are converting delta this is delta, this is 1 2 3. Now we are converting delta to star. Let me merge that circuit in the delta itself only. How we are going to be merge in delta? I am going to be draw star. Right, this is star. These are the resistances. I'm not going to be draw again those resistances. Instead of drawing the resistances, I will write this is R1, this is R2, this is R3, right? In star, this is neutral. What about this delta connection values? This is R1, 2, because the resistance between two nodes 1 and 2. This is R2, 3. This is R3, 1. Right, from here as you know, these are the unknown values of resistance. Since we know the known values of R12, now I am discussing delta 2. Already we discussed this transformation derivation in our previous session. If you any doubt, please go through that session thoroughly, then come back to this session again. I'm not going to discuss the derivation again here. Just I want you guys to remember this equation in one tactic way of form. Okay, so this is how to remember way of technique. Right. Next. Right. Now, while I'm writing R1, these are the equations R1, R2, and R3. While I'm writing of R1, R2, R3, these are resistances of star connection, right? Means unknown value of resistance R1, R2, and R3. How you will get the value of R1, R2, R3 of star? If you know the known values of R12, R23, R31 of delta, then only you will get LHS value, means unknown value. So here, while writing of R1, means R1 is equals to, means any arm of star connection. Any arm, if this is these are the arms, if I am considering this is the arm, any arm of resistance, any arm of star resistance is equals to product of two adjacent arms. Means if this arm is touching to this one point, right, one node, then what are the product of these two adjacent arms? Means R1 to R31, that only came, right? And here sum of all arms of delta. Here means R1 to R2 to R31. This is the way of remember. Again, let me see R2. R2 is, this is the one arm. R2 is connected to this node. What are the adjacent arms? R1 to R23, right? R1 to R23. And the product, sorry, this is sum of the all arms of delta. This is the product of adjacent arms of the delta. This is the product, this is sum. Product of adjacent arms of the delta which is connected to this R2. Right. Next R3. R3 also same. Product of R3 means how the arm is connected to R3. R3 is connected in between two adjacent arms. One is R23, R31. This is the numerator R23, R31, right? R23, R31. It should be R23. You wrote wrong. This is R23. R23, R31, and this is the sum of all arms of delta. So this is the way of remembering of the delta to star transformation. This is a very important. No need to be by heart. Instead of R1, R2, R3, you can take R by B, or you can take R A, R B, R C. But you should clear about while writing the suffix terms, right? You should, and you are following only clockwise direction. This is the about delta to star. Now let's move to the now let's move to the now let's move the star to delta. Right. Star, now we are going to discuss the transformation of star to delta. From here, in order to convert resistance in star into equivalent delta, we need to be multiplied few equations. Already we got those equations in our conversion of delta to star transformation. Those equations we are going to be multiplied. So what equations we got from? In the previous class, we have discussed the formula of star connected network as follows, right? This is R1, R2, and R3. So, and here you know the what I'm trying to say. Here you know the star connection value, means like this. This is star connection value. One. This is one. One. 2 and 3, R1, R2 and R3. Now your job to convert this star to delta, right? Let me draw the delta in imaginary way. In dotted line, this is called in converting. In this, there is a value of resistance is there, and this is also resistance is there. Right, this is called R12, R23. This is R31. Now I need to find this unknown values of R12, R23, R31 by using the known values of R1, R2, R3. How we are going to be do this? First, this is while you're solving the derivation, you need to write the equations of known parameters, means R1, R2, R3. R1 means R1, R2, R3. You got the equations while you're solving the conversion of delta to star technique. From that, you got this R1 is equals to R1 is nothing but a both arms, right? In that mode, R1 is nothing but R1 to R31 R by the sum of the total arms of delta. On that equation, you got this known parameters R1, R2, R3. From here, you were using those three equations, right? On multiplying the equations 1 and 2 means this 1 and 2. 1 and 2. If I multiply 1 and 2 means R1 and R2, then I can get this type of R12, R31, R23, R12, R12, R23, R31 by into R12, R23, R31, right? Then it will become a square of this product, right? RAB R12 square of this product, R12 square into R12, like this. Like do this for the all the steps for the multiplication of the equation 1 and 2, and then 2 and 3 means R2 and R3. Then it will be look like this. Then if I do same steps for further R12, R12, this should be R23, right? R23 whole square into R12. This is wrong. Should note this. R23 whole square into R. Then it should be again R31, R12, right? R12 is correct. Then by adding this 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to be adding the 4, 5, 6 means like this. This equation R12 square. You can write this instead of R1, R2. You can write RA, RB. Some books may prefer RA, RB. Some books may write R1, R2, R3. Some advanced level of books, they instead of using R1, R2, they can use directly R by B. So you can assume based on your interest. Now I am adding the 4, 5, 6 means R1, R2. Don't confuse. This is R1 into R2, not R12. If I wrote like this is not star, right? This is delta, because in the delta only two suffixes will come. In star only one suffix will come. That is the reason R1 and separate R2 both going to be multiplied. So you should remember, most of the students they do mistakes in that mode only. By adding 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, R1, R2 plus R2, R3, it plus R3, R1 is equals to R12 square into R23 into R31 plus R12 means R23 square, R23 square into R31 into R12 plus R31 square into R12 into R23. Then you will get like this equation. If I take because here the R12 is there, here R23 is there, R31 is there. I can take R12 off from this. Then I can take R23. If I multiply again this with the equation, I will get this type of equation. Means how I write a square plus bc plus ab square c plus abc square. So this is a similar equation. So for the I can simplify this equation like this. How I can write a square bc plus ab square c plus abc square. So I can write a b c by taking common of a plus b plus c. If I do multiply ABC with A, I can get A square BC. ABC with B, ABC square, A B square C. If I multiply with ABC with ABC into C, I can get ABC square. Like that, I took a common of this product. Then I can get this type of equation. Then this going to be get cancel each other. My R12, R23, R31 will become equal to this equation, right? From this R1 to R, right? From here, if you observe R1 2, R2 3, R31 means these three types of product will comes under the category of delta, right? Means from equation 1 means equation 1 is nothing but R1 is equals to R12 R31 by R12 plus R23 plus R31. This is equation 1 like this. Right, from this substitute in the equation 7 means here instead of R1 to R13 I can write instead of wait, let me remove this. Instead of R12 and 31 I can write and multiply with this. This is completely one product, right? Means what I can write R1, right? You can write R1 except R23. Like this I can get R1 into except R23 separate. If I want to know this star connection, then if you want to know the R23, then my value will be R23 will be equals to the by I am going to be send this into the divided R1 R2 plus R2 R3 plus R3 R1. Then I can summarize this equation like this, dividing for this product, dividing with this product, dividing with this product. Then R1 get cancelled, R2 will comes to picture, R1 and R1 get cancelled, R3 comes to the picture, then R2 3 by R1. Then this is the only one term will there for the writing of converting from star to delta. Finally, from left side, my unknown parameter came to the picture. So this is the finding of R23. If you want to find R12, similarly you can write the equations of further. How you can write the equation? You assume that is R1, right? Instead of assuming R1, you can assume R1, you can assume R2 also. Yeah, for the assuming of R2, which parameter you are going to be considering? R2 is nothing but R1 to R23, right? This is going to be considered. Instead of writing this, I can write R2. Then I can get the value of R31. R31 is nothing but a R31 is equals to R1 R2 by R2. R2 R2 get cancelled, then I can get R1. Then R2 R2 get cancelled, then I can get R3 plus R3 R1 by R2. So same equation I can get if I solve similarly in this mode. Right? So R3 plus R1. So this is next R1 to R1 plus R2 plus R1 R2 by R3. So by using the above 8 and 9, the given star network can be transformed into the equivalent delta 8, 9, and 10. R12 is equal to this equation, R23 is equal to this equation, R3 R12 is equals to R1 plus R2 plus R1 R2 by R3. R23 is equals to R2 plus R3 plus R2 into R3 by R1. Next R31 is equals to R3 plus R1 into plus R3 into R1 by R2. So let me solve multiple choice questions. Before doing this, how to remember this equation? No need to by heart this equation. If you know the star, you can write delta directly. How you can write this? That is a question mark. This is, I can say this is 1, 2, 3. Now you are going to be write the equation between. So this is R1. Now this is a term of R12. Now your job need to be find this resistance. While writing of R12, this is R1 and this is R2, this is R3, value of star connection. While you are writing of R12, how you are going to be write like this? Means some of the stars resistance is connected to those terminals. Some of the star connection, some of the star resistances those connected to those terminals. So here between 1 and 2, there are two star resistance are connected. One is R1, second one is R2. Then I need to be write two resistance R1, R2 plus sum of two resistance. He said sum of star resistances connected to those terminals. Next, how you can write this equation? It's a product of the same two resistances divided by the third star resistance. Product of the same two resistors which are connected to between those terminals. So then it will be R1 R2 by R3. So this is very important way of remembering this formula. Hope you got it right. So now we saw two types of transformations. One is delta to star. Under the delta to star, there are three equations we need to be remember. R1 is equals to R12 into R31 by R12 plus R23 plus R31. Then R21 is equals to R R2 R2 is equals to R21 into R23 by R12 plus R23 plus R31. Next, star to delta. In star to delta, we converted star equivalents to the delta. Delta is nothing but unknown parameter here. In the form of unknown, we have a lot of bytes on changes. So R12 is equals to R1 plus R2 plus R1 R2 by R3, like that. So then R21 is equals to R2 plus R1 plus R2 into R1 by R3. So then last equation is R31 is equals to R31 is equals to R3 plus R1 plus R3 into R1 by R2. So this is the way of remembering of those equations by using your tactics. So those 6 equations are very important. How you are going to be remember is your headache. So but you guys need to be write those equations without any mistake. That is very important. So now let's solve few problems on the basis of those transformation techniques. Let me write this multiple choice question problem. If three resistances each of R ohms are connected in star, then equivalent resistance in each arm of delta will be. How much value of resistance in delta? If I connected three value of resistances, means like this. Let me draw these three resistances in star. This is R, R. Now you are going to be convert star to delta, means now I am converting star to delta. Right, let me convert first one, because if I find this for this between these two resistance, then rest of the resistance value in the delta will be same, because the same value of resistance, there is no changing in the resistance value of the arms. All the arms have the same carrying resistance capability. Now if I find this, the same rest of the same arms will be same in following manner. So this is, let me find this, let me take this is R1 and this is a 2. R12 is equals to product of these two arms, means R into R square by sum of the three arms, means R plus R plus R, 3R. R get cancelled. Then my R12 is equals to R by third. While you are converting delta to star, sorry, star to delta, my resistance value will be decreases. If you observe, means over there the resistance value means R, here the resistance value will be R by third. Answer will be B. Hope you clear. Answer will be B star. Then equivalent resistance in arm of delta. This is R by 3. We solve one more question. If three resistances, each of the 1 ohm resistance in connected to them, what is the value of equivalent? Same formula, same way of deriving, but here instead of R you need to be use 1, then it is nothing but a 1 by third. Same formula, right? 1 by third. Three resistance connected in star, then equivalent resistance in each arm of delta. Let me read this question again. Resistance का star not R by 3. Let me star right. Sorry for the writing of R12. This is not formula. Sorry. Let me erase this. Let me read this. This is star right. Don't. Sorry for that. I thought that is delta. Let me draw the star again. This is R. For the finding of star to R2 delta means this is R12. What is the formula of R12? R1 plus R2 plus R12. This is star to delta transformation, right? I thought delta to star. So that is wrong. So you should follow this way. I wrote wrong formula. R12 by R1 into R2 by R3. Here R1 is nothing but R. R2 is nothing but R again. And R1 into R2 is nothing but R square. By R3 is nothing but R. Both square and R is cancelled. R plus R, it will be 3R. Answer will be this. Sorry for that. Hope you clear. Next. Here the same problem. Instead of R, he given the one numerical value 1. Then the answer will be 3. Right? Hope you clear. So let me solve a few more problems on this. In this problem, let me solve. If 3 ohms, 3 ohms, 3 ohms resistance are connected in delta, then equal resistance of star. So this is conversion of delta to star, means last session conversion technique. Here we need to draw delta connection for this. Delta connection. I'll have the same value of resistance 3, 3, 3. Now I'm going to be converted into the star. How much value of star means the product of this 2 by sum of this 3. Same, right? So I can get 3 into 3 by 3 plus 3 plus 3. 9 by 9. Then answer will be 1. Right? What is the value? This value will be 1, this value will be 1, all these 3 values will be 1, because the conversion, why the 3 value of resistances will be common. When there is a common value of resistance, this is a multiplication is need to be involved. So that is the reason I did this multiplication. Over there is a summation is there. While I'm converting star to delta, here this is delta to star. So here you need to be observed 2 important points. Let me clear about the answer. Answer is A. Right. Answer is A. 1, 1, 1. Before we are moved to the next slide, let me clear about this slide by removing my marks. Right. Here you guys need to be understand very clear point. While I'm converting star to delta, right? Let me remove this. While I'm converting star to delta, my resistance value will be double, 3 times. Triple, not double. While I'm converting delta to star, my resistance will be divided by 3. So you should remember this point very clearly. means if ikkada you should understand one important point here. All the value of resistance are when all arms have equivalent value of resistance. Please try to understand that word. All arms have equivalent value of resistances. When all arms have the same value of resistance instead of equivalent value, when all arms have the same value of resistance. So when all arms have the same value of resistances only, this way of principle comes to the picture. Here you should understand clearly, based on this resistance value, your current voltage power is going to be decided. Based on this value of resistance, your power factor is going to be decided. Based on this value of resistance, your performance is going to be decided. So this resistance conversion or this resistant high increasing or decreasing is very important. Based on this, there are a lot of other factors is going to be affected. So you should very clear about when same value of resistances in the all the arms of delta which is converted into the star, then resistance is going to be decreased by 1/3. Same if same value of resistances in the all arms of star, if I converted into the delta, my resistance value in the star in the delta will be 3 times of star. So here the resistance will be more, here my resistance will be less. So this is delta to star connection over the star to delta connections. Hope you clear about this. Next, let me solve a few more problems. Three resistances of 20 ohms each are connected in star. Find the equivalent delta value of resistance. Same thing. Here, simple. Star to delta, right? Withdraw. RA, RB. These are the way of doing steps in examination point of view. Three resistances means let me draw the circuit first. Given star, right? You should understand given circuit you need to be draw. This star, this is the value of resistances in this resistance, this value of resistances, this value of resistance. 20 ohms, 20 ohms, 20 ohms. Now you need to be draw this value of the resistance, means product of this two by sum of these three. Sorry, R12, right? R12 is nothing but a sum of these two, means 20 plus 20 plus 20 into 20 by 20. Means here what you did, you simply if these steps of questions coming on your multiple choice questions way, means on your competition way, simply if there is equal value of resistance is there, just know in our previous problem we solved one formula, because in terms of while I'm converting star to delta, my value will be 3 times of R. Now my R is nothing but 20, then the value will be 60 ohms of each value of this arm in the delta. By looking this problem, you can directly go through the options if you given A, B, C, D. So while you giving the three values of you, if you converting star to delta, directly you can multiply 3 into 20 is nothing but each delta resistance value will be 60. 60, 60, 60. So this is examination, competitive examination point of view. But while your examination, while your theoretical examination point of view, this is not the way of doing the steps. So you need to be follow proper steps while you are writing the examination in theoretical mode. So that is the steps. Here you go. This is a given data RA, RB, RC. You should denote those terms in terms of RA, RB, RC, or R1, R2, R3 as per your interest. Next, we know that formula to convert star into delta is RA, RB, RC is plus RA, RB by RA. Simple. R12 is equals to, write these two terms, R1 plus R2. Again, product these two terms, R1, R2 by what is the rest of the term 1, 2, after writing 1, 2, what is the rest term? Rest of the term R3. Right. This is a simple way of writing the equation. You don't bother about the 1, 2, 2, 3. If Rxy means, you can write this equation like this: Rx plus Ry plus Rx into Ry. After xy, there is a z value should be there, right? Then Rj. Same way you can write the equations of any unknown parameters. So here, in the same way, I wrote this RAB is nothing but Ra plus Rb plus Ra Rb by Rc, right? So what about the RB, RC? RB plus RC. So here we can write RAB, RBC, RB plus RC plus like that. RC we can write RC plus RA, RC RA by RB. So what is the solution? Is those substitute those values already you wrote on the given data in terms. So if you substituting those values, say 60 you got, right? 60, 60. So after writing this all the things, you guys need to be draw those circuits clearly. While you're solving this each steps, you need to be draw final circuit like delta mode. Delta mode, what is the value of this arm, and this arm by denoting this A, B, C nodes. You should write 60 ohms, 60, 60 like this. You need to be right here. You need to be the draw star like this, showing the arrow. I converted star to delta. This is my solution. This is the way of representing of in the examination point of view. Then only you will get marks, full marks. Otherwise, some marks is going to be is deducted, right? So this is a way of solving conversion of star to delta. Next, let me see problem number 2. Here go. Here he given the two different value of resistances. One is three different value of resistance, 20, 90, and 10 connected in star. Let me draw the star. This is star. Let me write this in respectively, means you can write in clockwise mode. 20, 90. Follow this clockwise in entire electrical circuit subject. Don't confuse with other books and other reference notes. Please follow my instructions strictly. Otherwise, you may get confused. 20, 90, and 10 is this in clockwise mode. Let me write 1, 2, 3. Now convert this into the equivalent delta. Means let me draw delta also. This is delta of this circuit. Delta means 20 plus 9. What is the value of this? Then 20 plus 9. 2 arms is connected like this delta, right? For this arm, 2 arms are joined. One arm like this, one arm like this. So then I am going to be summation of these 2 arms into product of these 2 arms by my rest of the arm 10. Like this you can solve. 20 plus 9, 180 plus 180 plus 20, 200. Then the value of this arm is 290, right? Same way I can solve this also. Means this arm is connected to the between two products, means two arms. One is 10, 90. Then product of this 10 and 90, 10 and 90 by 20, right? Then let me cancel each other. 20 and this is a 25 ja 5 9 ja 45, 45 plus 10 55, 55 plus 90 145, right? This the value will be 145. Then what about this? This will be product of this two, sorry, sum of this two and product of this two by rest of this 90. Sum of means 10 plus 20 plus 10 into 20 by 90. From here both get cancelled. 20 by 9 will get in 20 by 9 is nothing but a how much? 2.22 means 20 plus 10 30 32.22. The value of this 32.22. Hence let me check in this mode. 32 point, this value will be 32 point. Let me write this clearly. 32.22, 32.2, this value 145, this value 290. Let me check these arms by solving the in the way of examination point of view, right? This is given data RA, RB, RC, and this is the 290, we got it. 145, we got it. 32 points, same values we received, but here you need to be draw the equivalent circuits and the conversion circuits. How before problem, after problem. How my if the in problem, if you given the data in star, please try to draw those circuits by mentioning the resistance values in star. If the problem is given on this delta, please try to try to put those values in the delta mode. Then after conversion, based on his finding measurements, please convert those terms into star or delta. Again, redraw the circuit by mentioning the those star delta terms, star delta arm terms, right? So this is way of terms. So this is a small quiz. You guys need to be solve this. Simple. Three resistance, 3 ohms is connected in star. If I connect it into delta, again it will be double. As you know, when I connect it into star to delta, my resistance will be triple times, right? 3 into 3, 9. The answer will be 9. Answer will be 9. So most frequently asked question is like this. You need to be solved at your home. These types of questions they may ask. So this is a way of asking the questions in examination point of view. And frequently asked questions are derive the formula for star to delta R. You can get the one more question like derive the formula for delta to star, or you can write the formulas only. He will ask for the short questions like write the formulas for the conversion of star to delta, or write the formulas for the conversion delta to star. So like this way of types of questions they may ask in the examination point of view, right? Hope you clear in this session. And in this session we discussed the delta to star to delta technique, and we solved few problems. In our next class we will discuss more problems which are related to all the basic class of electric circuits. We will apply based on the requirement on the circuit. We can apply mesh analysis, nodal analysis, star, delta, current division, voltage division, which is comfortable for the circuit. We will apply based on the applying of those circuits, applying of those laws. We will going to be solve the number of circuits in next class. Thank you for this session. Thank you for your time. Hope you guys you understand all the concepts. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.